see the future. I believe in karma and karma's future, so let's do some.
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
I didn't unmute myself. See, I don't know what I'm doing. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hello, Nathan Ward. Hi, Nemesis and Hades. So nice to see you. Hi, Pete Thomas. And hi, Seashore Mary. And Misty Blue. And CJB. And Desert Rain. Gina G. Franz Marks. Martin Carson. And Tricky Woo. Hello. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. You're not late. I actually rescheduled it or bumped it back 30 minutes. That way I could go ahead and start early because I've got some stuff that I've got to address at the end. Hello, Jeannie DB. So I want to make sure that I have enough time to get through the research, and I'm trying to be more considerate of my folks across the pond because I know that I tend to run late for them, and I don't like that because I love my folks over there. Hello, Cosmic Crumb, and hello, Nanya Business. So I'm going to go ahead and run the intro, and then we'll just get into it. don't forget, we are literally out here fighting demons, y'all. And hello, good meatball. And hello, Xenu Ted. And hi, Mercy Choke. And who else popped in? Hello, Board. Hello. And Kryptonian Commander. And Naji Beeswax. And Occult Examiner. Hello. Thank you guys so much for being here. And P. Thomas, I saw you comment about Skateland. I have a leopard print pair of roller skates with red tires. Yeah, or wheels, not tires. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get into this. And if you guys could please let me know, because I think last time, since I was on the web showing you guys stuff and I couldn't disable the ads, I think that that's why I was laggy. If that happens again, will you guys let me know? Because then I'm going to call the internet people again and have them come back out. But today, first things first, we're getting through the research up front and we'll deal with the other stuff at the end. Let me get this document ready. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, I am not going to say who gave me the document. However, I have learned that this document was not a secret. So, this is more so that people need to understand that no one owns the information. Now, look, are documents sensitive sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. There's things that I've had to redact on here. However, this is in regards to an investigation that was performed, that was absolutely performed in regards to the connections between the Atlanta child murders and the son of Sam. This is not some crazy whacked out conspiracy theory. This is an actual investigation that took place. And, you know, I understand that people want to keep things kind of close to the chest, but, you know, these people aren't getting any younger. David Berkowitz certainly isn't, and neither is Annie Kurtz, and neither is Wayne. I don't expect either of these gentlemen to, come clean about this stuff, but I do think that these things should be evaluated. And we're just going to do a very brief overview of some of the things that I've verified. It's not much, but it's just to show that this wasn't, pulled out of somebody's rear end. And hello, glitched. So let's go ahead and let's dig in and get this going right here. Thank you. Okay. So this is from G. Kelly Associates from March 29th, 1982 to a Mr. Sal Dina. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. And there we go. So it says, Dear Mr. Dina, enclosed, please find an addendum to our original report on the Atlanta child murders. Our office is constantly receiving and developing new information relating to all aspects of this case, including videotapes which will be of interest to you. Mr. Kelly would very much like to meet with you to study this information and share anything you might be able to offer. He is particularly interested in reviewing the official homicide reports of the murders to which I believe you have access. Please reply as soon as possible so a meeting might be arranged without delay. Yours truly, G. Kelly Associates, and Mary Scribner was the research consultant. So right here, Atlanta Child Murders Addendum, March 1982. So here we go. Here is the table of contents, the introduction, Wayne Williams, ritual killings, possible relationship to Berkowitz, the dog man, Parnell Tram, Shirley McGill, and miscellaneous. So, obviously it's not that long, right? This addendum to Atlanta child murders, dated December 1981, is an update of information developed since the compilation of that report. It unquestionably supports the theory of a satanic cult scenario being a major contributing factor to the tragedy in Atlanta. Information has been developed and correlated, which also shows significant evidence of a relationship of the Atlanta murders to similar cases in cities throughout the country. These similarities go beyond coincidence and clearly indicate the existence of a network or national organization, such as one referred to by David Berkowitz. Berkowitz, in a recent deposition, seems to be alluding to an organization known as The Process, which is a splinter group from the more well-known Church of Scientology. The Process is known to be a violence-oriented, ritualistic satanic cult. Among the more notable Process groups, or spin-off groups, is Charles Manson's family. It is interesting to note that one of the terms Shirley MacGill uses for the devil, or the individual leading the rituals she attended in Atlanta, is the creepy crawler, which is a name Manson liked to use. There appears to be a growing relationship between Williams' group in Atlanta and Berkowitz's satanic group in and around New York City. So, similar groups have operated in recent years in Northern California, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and New Jersey, among other locations. Certain members of law enforcement community are seeing the parallels and interrelationships. For example, in October 1981, the Los Angeles Police Department, or another large department in the vicinity of LA, effected the arrest of an individual in a drug/witchcraft homicide in that area. Members of the Atlanta Task Force and NYPD secretly flew out and interviewed this individual. Standard records of this individual's arrest have disappeared. That is shady as hell, and I would really love to know what they're referencing here. But moving on. When the story regarding the ritual murders, which were incorporated into so-called snuff films in Philadelphia, was released, David Berkowitz became unusually agitated and went to great lengths to obtain information about them. Shirley MacGill states that Parnell Tram made trips to Philadelphia. And here we go, number 3. So, Wayne Williams. Early in February 1982, Wayne Williams allegedly admitted to his lead attorney, Al Bender, that he, Williams, is a Satan worshiper, but definitely did not want that information entered into the trial. Approximately a week later, he made the same statement to Sal Dina, who is a licensed PI working with the defense team. Further confirmation of Williams' belief system comes from one Carla Bailey, who testified on Williams' behalf as a character witness. She admits that she intentionally and systematically kept from her testimony knowledge of Williams' involvement in satanic rituals. She alleges that Williams invited her to attend and participate in witchcraft and sacrificial ceremonies. Additionally, she claims that William told her that he believed he had been reincarnated several times and that during one of his previous incarnations was present in the Ford Theater during Lincoln's assassination. That is wild. That is wild, okay? Bailey is anxious to have a face-to-face meeting with Williams. What a place to reincarnate. A female witness testified on behalf of Williams and stated that she had sexual relations with Williams, thus indicating that he was not homosexual. While she was evidently credible, the defense team feels that she was lying in order to cover up some aspect of Williams' life, including something other than homosexuality. And here we go. So, Wayne Williams owns a German Shepherd dog by the name of Sheba. German Shepherds play a role in and are very significant to various satanic cults in the United States. Wayne Williams organized a musical group known as Gemini, which is purportedly his astrological sign. They were trying to promote a song entitled Coming of the Spring. Durwood Myers was the investigator and logistics coordinator for the defense team. He is extremely professional, well-established, and credible. Myers alleges that he knew of the satanic aspect of Williams' background, as well as other parallel information right from the beginning of the trial. However, he disregarded the information as inconsequential, but has since changed his opinion. He is considering making this information, which is purportedly a large cardboard box filled with documents, available to a select few. Additionally, Myers claims that there were 2 Atlanta police officers involved in Williams' satanic group. One, named Phillips, is on an administrative level, and the other, named Dorsey, actually served on the task force. Just an FYI, I've located these 2 officers, so I know who they are, but we're not going to talk about them today. An individual by the name of Salinger is also mentioned. He is either associated with the task force or with the Atlanta police. This would help to confirm Shirley MacGill's allegation of well-placed police protection. Shirley had stated that a police officer involved in the satanic group wore badge number, and I redacted it, just because I don't know who is still alive, okay? So let's move on. Sal Dina has had meetings with both the defense and prosecution teams after Williams' conviction. Both have allegedly stated that they are well aware of the satanic aspect of the homicides. There were 3 reasons for not pursuing that scenario: lack of understanding of the significance of it, individuals with influence who were members of the group, and the desire to convict Williams of anything in order to take him out of circulation and apply pressure on him. As with the defense, the prosecution may make their information available to the appropriate sources. During the first search of Williams' home, The police saw a copy of a book entitled The Egyptian Book of the Dead. When they returned to the Williams home to take this book, it was gone. Many of the bodies of the Atlanta victims were found in positions described in this book. It is interesting to note that Williams' family had a partially electrified fence around their house for several years. When investigators from CORE visited the ceremonial site to which Shirley McGill led them, they believed that they were under surveillance by several persons in vehicles. One vehicle was a car bearing license plate blank, Georgia. Notice that 3 by 3 equals 9, which is the ceremonial number of death, according to Shirley McGill. This motor vehicle is registered to one Susan Bloomfield, Georgia. Carla Bailey states that Wayne Williams had a girlfriend from out of town by the name of Susan Ford. It is conceivable that Susan Ford and Susan Bloomfield may, in fact, be the same person. Now, I'm going to stop there for just a second. I want to say hello. I think I missed a couple people. I see Jenny Lee. Hello. Hi, Janae. I love you. And who else popped in? I think I'm caught up. Okay, so in regards to Shirley McGill and CORE. So CORE is the Congress for Racial Equality. We have so much to go over about that. And I don't know if Hollis is in here, but Hollis, if you're in here, thank you. So there is a gentleman, he goes by the name of Hollis. I don't think that his group has started doing shows yet, but if they have, I will get the information and I will plug it for you guys. They are very focused on the Atlanta child murders in particular, and we've had a very good rapport, and they've never been pushy or rude. He's a really nice guy and a wealth of knowledge about just the case in general. I went ahead and shared this report with him to get his thoughts on it because I enjoy getting feedback from someone who's very skeptic about the whole process angle, right? Because everybody thinks I'm out here just pinning stuff on the process. And he gave me a lot of good feedback, especially about Shirley McGill and CORE, or the Congress of Racial Equality. There's a lot of really suspicious stuff there. I think that is going to tie directly into COINTELPRO specifically, because CORE is named in COINTELPRO documents as far as being a target. And it doesn't really make sense why CORE is getting involved in cult activity. It's all just super shady. But, initially he didn't agree with the report. He was kind of like, and then he came back a couple days later and he said that after he had looked through it again and slept on it for a bit, he thinks that there's some fruit here. And I think, someone who's been studying the Atlanta child murders for years, saying that, there's some information to glean from this, I'm going to go ahead and take that as a win, because I don't think that all of this just goes out the window. I'm not saying that all of the descriptions in here or the spoopy stuff that it's accurate, right? We have to put it in the context of the time and where they're getting the information from. But I am just reading it to you guys as is. And hello, White Snake, and hello, Dave Steege, and hello, Kenya, and hello, Steve Sippos. Sorry I'm late, fellow ball baggers. Oh yeah, did you guys hear that I've started a cut? Hello. My name is Dana, aka Rottingjewels. I've started a cottage industry of ball baggers, according to one retired, not retired gardener process anchor baby. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and let's keep going. Don't get me started, Steve Sippos, please. I'm trying to stay focused here. All right. Moving on. So, ritual killings. An unreliable but possibly correct source of information states that an investigator on the official task force in Atlanta informed him that some of the murders, but not all of them, were ritualistic. These involved mutilation of the bodies by cutting off the male sex organs and placing them in the mouth of their victims. The medical examiner has recently acknowledged, after the fact, the plastic bag theory as the cause of death. He also alluded to ritual murder by disclosing the fact that at least one of the victims had a stab wound in the stomach, surrounded by 5 ceremonial cuts, which were inflicted after the death of the victim. Several parents of the victims, when identifying the bodies, saw ceremonial markings, specifically crosses carved on the forehead and chest. News reports say at least 3 victims had such markings. Wounds were inflicted by a left-handed person. Williams is right-handed. 2 suspects are left-handed, one which is Williams' father. I do have very strong feelings about Wayne Williams' dad. Long before Wayne Williams appeared, a cult scenario was entertained. One of the victims had eaten shortly before disappearing. The contents of the meal were known. The autopsy revealed that the body had rid itself of this food and ingested at least one different meal before death. This indicates that the victim was held for a period of time and apparently treated well before death. And here, so possible relationship to Berkowitz. Shirley McGill states that some of the drugs in the distribution ring in which she was involved were shipped to some place in New York City. One Steve Carlin Trachtman is a Jewish financier from the New York Wall Street community. Sorry, he allegedly is JC, the Antichrist. It is conceivable that this is the Black Jew from New York that Shirley McGill has spoken about. Now, let's stop here because this is blatantly incorrect. But again, we're going based off of what they have at the time. Now, I'm going to pull up a photo of Carlin Trachtman. That way you guys can see. And we're going to kind of do this as we move through the remainder of this report. That way there's no confusion. I just have one photo to show you guys because we know who Steve Carlin is. We know who he is now, right? Yeah, Reeve Brockman. Yes, Reeve Brockman. Yeah. So let me get this opened up. We're just going to take a quick peek at his photo. That way you guys can see because obviously this gentleman is white, right? I mean, at least in this photo, he looks white. I don't really know. And I haven't been able to find any other photos since. So there's that. Now, let's go ahead and let's get on to the next individual, which will probably be a little bit more familiar for everybody. So, Shirley McGill identified a picture of a man to whom she has referred to as the White Bill, who is one of the leaders of her group in Atlanta. The photograph was of Billy Parker, who is an Army veteran, construction worker from Texas, and an associate of David Berkowitz. He was, in fact, the individual who bought the one or more .44 caliber revolver for Berkowitz in Texas. All right, so now we know. If you are familiar with this story, then you know who he is. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at Mr. Parker real quick. That way, for those who have not seen him. So there is Billy Dan Parker. That is Lubbock High School in 1962. He is deceased as of August 24th, 2014. And I just figured that I would grab this article. This is from the Californian, Saturday, August 13th, 1977. This is in regards to that investigation, him purchasing the 44. I think that that entire story is completely preposterous. And I think that, you know, the stuff that she talks about is pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting to me. So let's get back to this report. That way we can churn and burn, baby. All right, so Berkowitz has stated absolutely that the Son of Sam killings were ritualistic practices of a satanic group. He claims that the group is a loosely knit national organization. An insight into the dynamics of the organization can be found in the book entitled The Art of Witchcraft. In both the Atlanta case and the New York Son of Sam case, neighborhood and street names near the scenes of the crimes have significance. In Atlanta, they include Druid Street, Druid Hills, Oak Tree Street, etc. Similarly, in New York, the victims were found in Gravesend, Whitestone, Forest Hills, and Forest Park. Let's keep going. Michael Carr and some other associates of Berkowitz incorporated a Buddha figure in their ceremonies in the same manner, according to Shirley, that it was used in the Atlanta ceremonies. Allegedly, Parnell Tram was in the U.S. Army serving in Vietnam at approximately the same time David Berkowitz was in the U.S. Army serving in Korea. As of this time, it has not been possible to develop Parnell Tram's military record. Derek Tram, a cousin of Parnell, resides in Houston. Billy Parker, Berkowitz's closest friend, also resides in Houston. Michael Carr was a close associate of Berkowitz until his death. He had an extraordinary interest in the life of Abraham Lincoln to the degree that he felt he and Lincoln were in communication with each other. The following information illustrates that individuals heavily involved in the New York Son of Sam killings frequented the Miami area. Michael Carr was known to make frequent trips to Florida. His sister Wheat did so as well. It is believed she was in the Fort Lauderdale area, while Michael is known to have been in Clearwater at a Scientology center in early 1979 for an exclusive training course. Michael is also said to have sent and received packages from Florida on a regular basis prior to his death. Yeah, that Scientology stuff just won't go away, will it, Wheat? In June 1979, David Berkowitz stopped in Florida en route to Houston for the purchase of the .44 Bulldog used in the Son of Sam killings. In Florida, Berkowitz is known to have visited his father in the Miami area. He is also said to have stopped at a Bible college in the Hollywood area. That comes from a source. David's father lived in Boynton Beach. Craig Glassman, another Son of Sam figure, attended school for some time at the University of Miami, as did Stephen Carlin Trackman, aka Steve Carlin. So, hot diggity dog, what happened the last time that I brought up Michael and Wheat and Scientology? A cease and desist, right? I got that threat. So, let me look at the chat really quick, and then we're going to get back into it. I saw Tawny C pop in. Hello, Tawny C. And let me see. Y'all are talking about dogs and farms. Okay. Hello, Kumori. The Baron was busy. Who's the Baron? We were talking about Glassman today. Yeah. So Glassman, I don't have the book. Let me just show you guys, because some people don't know, what he looks like. And I just found the best pictures that I could find, because why am I drawing a blank? Let me wet my whistle while I think. Dang it. Why can't I think of it? Hold on, because now I'm embarrassed. Oh, Hollis. I'm so sorry. It's such a unique name. So, that guy Hollis that I was talking about. Hello, the Everyday Therapist. I'm going to show you guys the connection, but this is going to be just some other weird threads too. Some maybe octopus related things, maybe not. So, this is Craig Glassman. Obviously, wanted to get some good photos. That way you can see. Yep, his apartment was directly under Berkowitz. So, this is off the wall. The story of David Berkowitz, the Son of Sam, .44 caliber killer, as told by Craig Glassman, the deputy sheriff who not only captured him, but by chance lived in the apartment directly below Berkowitz. Yeah, everything is just by chance, right? So, in regards to that, some people know, some people don't know. Craig Glassman was allegedly a member of The Way, right? The Way International. So The Way International, I'm mostly highlighting this article, especially from the Mount Vernon Argus, May 5th, 1984, because they were well established in Westchester County at this time. And also they had a college. Okay. This place was just well set. They were good to go. And it's interesting because in T. Mo's files, I believe that he cites Craig as an auditor of The Way, which makes me wonder if maybe there's a little bit of crossover in regards to the process and The Way, right? Because, the process is doing their like struggle sessions with the cans, with the Peace Scope. Yeah, but it would still be the same thing as auditing, in my opinion. However, something interesting about this book right here is that in this book, and there is no copy online, it drives me nuts. I cannot find it. But in this book, Craig Glassman discusses how when he was in Florida, he worked for Wackenhut. Yes, that is Wackenhut of Danny Casolaro fame, right? So that's a little bit interesting. Now, this is what Hollis had sent me. This individual right here, Larry Marshall. So this guy, he was known to at least one of the victims, possibly multiple victims in Atlanta. This was the only photo that I could find of him. The cops are real weird about this guy. Okay, they're not saying specifically what's going on with him. They just want to question him. Okay, they just want to question him. But what Hollis was kind enough to point out to me, what is this? The Atlanta Journal, April 4th, 1981. So, Larry Marshall was also employed by Wackenhut. Now, granted, he was in Atlanta, but still, I think that that's real, real weird. And then this article over here, this is from the Hartford Courant on the same day. So the let me see, where is this guy? Stanley, right here. Colonel James T. Stanley of the DeKalb County Police Department. So he just happened to go to a Masonic convention in Connecticut at the same time that Larry Marshall was arrested. I didn't even know that they held Masonic conventions. I just thought that this was extremely sus. And so I had to point it out. And just, as a reminder for people, let me get out of here completely. Okay, who else was involved in Wackenhut? Michael Riconciuto, right? That's a young Michael right there in high school on the left. So I don't take that as a coincidence that, that there's multiple people that are working for Wackenhut. I'm not into it at all. And this is just, again, to highlight some of these things. I'm really not focused on this right now. I know that some people aren't, familiar with the octopus, so to speak. However, I don't know what to tell people. What are the chances of that? And plus, freaking, the Casalaros literally coming out of Westchester County. Literally coming out of Westchester County. I'm not sitting here making connections that don't exist. These are obviously things that need to be explored, and I'm sorry, it's just real shady to me that there's multiple connections to Wackenhut now. I'm not into that. Now, Hollis, I saw that you popped in, so I would have put it up here on the screen. I'm trying to get better about that. Our group is called AT Kid Unleashed, and we have a group with just a few videos currently. We had a huge amount of live streams online, which YouTube deleted. Well, that sucks, and I'm sorry. And thank you so much for popping in, and I'm gonna take this down now, but guys, go check them out, and I will find the link and I will add it to the video description. Like I said, super nice guy, and very helpful as far as, trying to suss out some of this stuff with me. Now, let's go ahead and let's continue with this report. We are on page 14 of 18, so we're getting there. We're getting there. And I might actually pull up Hollis's email before I get into the business at the end. Yeah? All right, so the dog man. Don Lakin of Pennsylvania is a volunteer, apparently unlicensed investigator working with the defense team. Lakin, along with his wife, has been in Atlanta for more than the past year, either investigating the crimes and or aiding the defense team as a leg man. He is a police buff type, as were David Berkowitz and Wayne Williams, and wears a Fraternal Order of Police jacket, Lodge Number, Pennsylvania. He has supported both his wife and himself in Atlanta for this period of time on the proceeds of his kennel in Pennsylvania, where he trains German Shepherds. He maintains some 90 Shepherds at a time. His inordinate interest in German Shepherds, partially manifested in the wearing of symbolic jewelry, such as a large shepherd head pendant on a wheel around his neck, has earned him the nickname the Dog Man. Pennsylvania is a contiguous county to the city of Philadelphia. Lakin's prying nature, among other points, has made him become suspicious to the people dealing with him, including the defense team. So, Parnell Tram, military service 69 through 72. Parnell Tram owned a 1974 Chevrolet automobile bearing license plate blank. Early in the investigation, witnesses placed a car fitting that description, bearing license plate blank, in front of Payne's home. The Motor Vehicle Bureau states that no such license plate exists. The car was driven by a black male fitting Tram's description. It is believed that the car was Tram's and was being driven by him, and the witnesses were simply in error regarding the plate number. This definitely ties Tram into an association with Payne. Shirley McGill. Field investigation in Atlanta produced information stating that a paramedic ambulance driver would play a role in the prosecution's case. One such individual was produced. Shirley McGill had related that after her nose wound in Miami, it had been professionally stitched. This possibly might be the same individual. And page 17, miscellaneous. The FBI has an obsessive interest in Williams and his friends having access to a blue detective type car, which may have played a role in the abductions. This might relate to a statement made by a younger sibling of one of the victims that her brother was taken by the police. An older man and a young girl were spectators in the courtroom. The man and young girl did not appear to have anything in common. The man was wearing various pieces of symbolic jewelry. His license plate was blank. This automobile is a 1982 blue Citation with a CB radio. And this last one right here, because no, we're not going to get into it today, but remember the Snuff films that they had referenced earlier? Feds zeroing in on 2 satanic films and the Snuff death of teacher. FBI agents are now zeroing in on 2 specific Snuff films they believe portray the grisly death of pretty Philadelphia English teacher Susan Reinert. The Post has learned that the names of these 2 movies are after Satan and the Satan cult. The supposed Snuff films may show people involved in her killing and perhaps the killing itself, officials believe. Snuff movies are sex films in which the female participant is actually murdered. The films are available to select clientele for private viewing at prices ranging up to several $1,000s. They are distributed by porno merchants associated with organized crime and are offered only to trusted customers. Copies of the movies, filmed on 8mm color reels for home screening, are so closely guarded that authorities have encountered tremendous difficulties tracking them down. The nude body of the 37-year-old Susan Reinert was found June 25th, stuffed in the trunk of her car outside of a Harrisburg motel. Investigators think she was sacrificed in a satanic black mass by a cult whose members revel in drugs and sadomasochistic group sex. The focus of the bizarre murder case shifted to New York's underground porno circuit as the result of an anonymous tip to the FBI last August about the reported Snuff film of the murder. One Philadelphia porno dealer says he told authorities to look in New York. The market for that kind of stuff isn't here. Details about the films and their contents generally have been provided secondhand by underworld informants and others who have seen or been told about them. A common practice is to invite porno merchants at the price of several $100s apiece to a showing of the film for the purpose of selling them copies to retail. The term snuff film dates to the days of Charles Manson and his family. Manson frequently used the term snuff to mean murder. Authorities have never seized an actual snuff film, but they have found movies where a murder has been graphically faked after the sex act. The disclosure of the 2 specific film names came as police added a new name to its growing list of persons suspected of complicity in the events surrounding the death of the 37-year-old Mrs. Reinhardt. She is Stephanie Smith Hunsberger, daughter of the former principal at Mrs. Reinhardt's high school. Authorities believe she may be hiding Mrs. Reinhardt's 2 young children, Michael and Karen, who disappeared 2 days before Mrs. Reinhardt's nude body was discovered in the back of her car on June 25th. The one ray of hope for finding the children now, a police official said, is finding Mrs. Hunsberger, who has been missing since early summer. So, yeah, that's rough. Sorry about that. That's, I don't really know what to tell people. That I think that the fact that they were provided the names of the movies is very interesting. That was something that Dare to Defy had pointed out, that just seemed very specific. And I have found a lot more stuff about that case and about those films. And yeah, I know, Jay Snyder, I think that it was just at that time that was probably the predominance of the actual term snuff. Because I think that's something that I discussed with William Ramsey the last time that I was on his show was, is it true? Because, Sanders kind of put that into circulation about, snuffoids, the murders being snuffs. I'm not saying definitively one way or the other. I'm not here, fact checking the old newspapers or anything of the sort. I'm just reading the document as it is. I want to find this from Hollis really quick because he popped in and I wish that I would have had it open. Give me 2 seconds and hopefully this does not get super laggy. Uno momento. Because he had sent me the most fascinating email and I was just like, Kill Bill sirens. I need to get a button so I can hit the Kill Bill sirens. Hold on. Now, this as well, something to consider, because this was what tipped off the whole thing. Willie Dunn, James Jimmy Boots Rothstein, the Honorable Mayor. Remember the whole Willie Dunn thing? So Willie Dunn was also in South Florida at the exact same time, as far as the stuff going on with Trackman, Carlin, and Glassman, right? It's a little weird, huh? It's a little bit weird. I don't know if Sisman filmed them. I have no idea. I think that that is a great question. Now, let me see if I can hide this a little bit. So, what I'm going to do, because I certainly don't want to, I'm not gonna pull up the email. I'm gonna read it to you guys, and then I'm going to show you guys what he sent me. And I'm sorry that I wasn't more prepared for this, but this I just thought of, and I do think that it's important. So, let me get this. All right, so given your subject, I see that Willie Dunn being arrested in Coral Gables, Florida, as a big clue. Plenty going on in Coral Gables. That is the location of the Adelphi Academy, connected to Boy Scout Troop 137, which is directly connected to John Norman and Francis Sheldon trafficking and porn network. Coral Gables is also where Shirley McGill got connected to CORE, who I would say were working with the CIA for a long time. Coral Gables is also the home headquarters of Wackenhut, which is definitely an intelligence asset founded by an Atlanta FBI agent. Larry Marshall in Atlanta was also working as a security guard for Wackenhut. So was Craig Glassman. He got a letter warning him to lay off of the kids, and he ran off to Connecticut, where he was arrested a little over a week later and returned to Atlanta. He was arrested because of Wackenhut, and it is quite an unbelievable, ridiculous story. Just can't be real. When Shirley McGill and CORE appeared in Atlanta, their story did not have anything to do with cults or satanic rituals from a report that I have seen. All of that came around in 1982 after Shirley had worked with hypnotists, deprogrammers, and such, specifically a man named Galen Kelly, who was an associate of Rabbi Maurice Davis. I am attaching an article where these two kidnapped a lady from her mother's home in Yonkers. She was living in Miami, just 5 or 6 miles from Coral Gables also. Rabbi Maurice Davis was also using the CARS phone service for a pastoral counseling service. Davis, anti-cult and deprogrammer, also in the early 50s, basically gave a Jewish temple to Jim Jones, which was then named the People's Temple. Another associate of Davis immediately flew down to Jonestown and worked with the survivors. Can't make this shit up. Sound connected or coincidence? I don't believe in coincidence either. So, let's go ahead and let's take a peek at what he sent me, because these articles are really fascinating. And Hollis, I certainly hope that you don't mind that I read that, but I thought that you laid that out quite beautifully, quite frankly. So let me get all of these open. And we're not going to sit here and, read all the painstaking details. I just wanted to show you guys, because a couple of these are not the best quality anyway, but I had never seen them before. So let's go ahead, because now that I'm talking about this, and I completely forgot, and I keep saying we're going to talk about it, the freaking, what is it? The Molotov cocktails that were going on, right? Because this all ties into that too. So let's go ahead and pull up this first article about the rabbi and the Moonies, right? Let's go ahead and pull this one up. There we go. Okay, this is super hard to read. There we go. So, Mooney sues rabbi and detective. A member of the Unification Church has filed a $2 million suit against a White Plains rabbi and an Ulster County private detective who allegedly conspired to kidnap and deprogram her. The suit was filed Tuesday in State Supreme Court in Manhattan by Ellen Vogel, who listed her address in Miami, Florida. That building is owned by the church. Miss Vogel said she was kidnapped from her mother's home in Yonkers on May 11th and held in a motel in Kingston, New York. Kingston is the exact same place where this report came from. And, there's other stuff with Kingston. Anyways, for 9 days before escaping through a bathroom window. Sylvia Vogel, Miss Vogel's mother, was referred to in the suit as a co-conspirator, but not as a defendant. The suit named as defendants Rabbi Maurice Davis and Detective C. Galen Kelly. Oh, I think that's them. The suit also named 14 others who aided in the alleged kidnapping, but did not spell out their roles. Davis reached at his White Plains home, said the church filed the suit simply for the sake of harassing me, stating that the suit is without foundation. They resent the fact that I have saved 152 kids from cults, he said, estimating that about 70 were from the Unification Church, which is led by the Reverend Sun Myung Moon of Korea. Davis said Miss Vogel willingly came with her mother to see him on May 19th and stayed for an hour of counseling. At the end, she kissed me and said goodbye and left with her mother. Kelly could not be reached for comment. So there's that. Let's go ahead and get on to the next one because I think this is the first page of the article. I'm really going to have to zoom in here because I think that this one talks about the news service. I mean, the answering service. I apologize. All right. So here we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, cool. So, Son of Sam case blows the myth of lone assassin. Yeah, my report is from Galen Kelly. That's what I thought, Hollis Smith. Okay, that's exactly what I thought. Thank you. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that the same person? Oh, this is so... See, we're figuring this out as we go. So right here, they're talking about Scientology. They're talking about the cult deprogrammer, Rabbi Maurice Davis, mentioning the cars. Where is it? Minot, with John Carr. Okay, like I said, I'm not really here to sit here and read this entire thing. It's kind of difficult to read anyways. And let me get the second page going really quick. Thank you for pointing that out, Hollis, because I was like, I'm pretty sure that that's literally who we just read that report from. So that makes it even weirder, doesn't it? Where did the other one go? There we go. This one has a picture of David on it. Okay. And we're off. So right here, this is David Berkowitz, the deprogrammers right there. HRCS, that is Hudson River Counseling Service in Westchester for mental health, right? And so Rabbi Maurice Davis, an affiliate of the Anti-Defamation League, who lists himself as a specialist in the behavior modification deprogramming of cult members. I've already talked to you guys. Actually, no, I haven't. I got to stop saying that because I got to do the firebombing. Because when I come on and I talk about that, it's going to bring in the Jewish Defense League. It's going to get real weird. A lot of that is very strange. Hello, Bo Beats. No worries. So that's all super sus. Okay. That's all super duper sus to me. I think that the report is interesting. I don't really know what to tell people. I have one more slide to show you from the PowerPoint in regards to the attorney, because obviously, the legal counsel is bearing more fruit as far as making connections through some of these seemingly disparate things. And not going to really get into it, but so it says right here, the legal specialist consulted before William hearing Atlanta Constitution, October 20th, 1981. So Mary Welcome, we've already discussed this previously. Mary Welcome was also the attorney for Michael Thieves. But this guy, Alvin Bender, that they discussed, he was a proponent of segregation in the 1960s. So I'm going to be looking and seeing if he's got any ties to Mitch Warbell, because I think that that's really weird. And then right here, stating that he is going to be joining Williams' defense team. I think that it's very sus. It says right here, Bender says that he has no experience in dealing with fiber evidence, which will play a key role in the trial. That's one thing that I'll be looking at. Okay, whatever you say. I think that that is completely preposterous. Why you would bring someone in who literally has never dealt with something like that at all, and obviously that evidence is garbage. But I'm not here to play legal beagle. So hello, SPTV Never Ends and Artology Kelly. Hello. And Seashore Mary, you asked a question about Craig Glassman. I can't scroll back all the way. Can you ask it again? Because I don't want to ignore. I want to know what the question was. It's not weird at all if you know the small hats from the world. Shut up, Desert Rain. I didn't say it. Desert Rain did. Lord forgive me. Let me see. Y'all are talking about Russia and the monkeys and numbers, and I can't get into all of that. So You guys can have fun conversating with that, but that's pretty much all that I have for today. Uh, obviously, that's kind of quick. I love you back, Desert Rain. Um, obviously, that was kind of quick, but I didn't really want to spend a whole ton of time speculating. I wanted to show that there was some validity to the information, and also, hello, the Nemesis, and hi, Jack. Get some rest. There's some validity to it. Obviously, the stuff with the Congress for Racial Equality, now I gotta look into, it's not that I wasn't going to, but now I've gotta move it up on my priority list, this G. Kelly and Associates, and see what the hell is going on there. Um, because nothing's ruled out until it's ruled out. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. Have I seen the Shirley McGill interview? I have not. And from what I understand, and the more that I've spoken with Hollis, even though we've really only spoken briefly, is that, yeah, the stuff with Shirley McGill is super sus. Is super sus. And the Congress of Racial Equality, this is all just straight like COINTELPRO chaos stuff. That's just bolstering the argument for it. Xenu Ted, I am looking for, it's called Against the Wall, and it is the story of the Son of Sam told by Craig Glassman. That's where he says that he worked at Wackenhut. I I would really like to read that for myself. I would love to. And hello, Joker37, and hello, Neutral Observation, and hello, Lucas Glymade. I will replay to understand. No worries, Tawny C. It's yeah, Chaos to COINTELPRO to PatCon. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's you know, the Atlanta child killings are very near and dear to my heart. So in a bad way, as far as like, it makes me very upset and it's very frustrating, especially when we're looking at like the porno angle of everything, right? Because obviously that's something that I'm highly focused on, is trying to flesh all of that out. But yeah, I know mamas and papas. Yeah, little Tommy boy, Tom O'Neill is making the rounds again, getting everybody ready for that Netflix documentary. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Jenny Lee, absolutely. The blue car, that is absolutely a thing. Yes. And Lake Lanier, where the spoopy mounds are, right? Where there were multiple victims seen on the boat of the cop. Like, I don't think that we don't toss out everything in that report. I look at everything pretty critically. I just think that it's interesting, and I wanted to present it as is and provide some visuals, to go with it so that people could see. Because, and yes, taking advantage of the poor and disenfranchised, absolutely. Um, I don't want, I don't want people to think I'm out here saying that that report is the Bible. It's not. But there's no reason that people shouldn't be able to look at it and evaluate the information for themselves, right? Let people make their own determination. I think that that's really important. I don't think that anybody has the right to, you know, make that choice for the public. And if they think that they do, they just have an unwarranted sense of self-confidence. You know what I mean? And of course, Candace Owens is pushing O'Neill. So is what is that guy, Ian Carroll, the dude that like does the TikToks, right? Does the TikToks where he's gonna tell you all about RFK, right, and the deep state. Whatever. It's all fake and gay. Quit falling for that crap. And again, I'm not saying that people can't be successful, but like, come on, man. It's like the Q people that have like hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, and I'm just like, I really can't deal with this. I love trolling them though. I do love trolling them. The ghost of Vincent Bugliosi gonna get him. That's hilarious. Yeah, I heard that Jimmy Dore had him on, and whatever, I take everything with a very, very small grain of salt, but I am curious to see what was said on Jimmy Dore, because I don't know. I really don't know. I'm very, very curious. Ian Carroll came out of nowhere. Well, he came from TikTok. You're at the mercy of the algorithm. Because I'm going to do one of those, what do you call it? The vertical streams. I'm going to do a vertical stream from the phone. Because you have to do it from the phone for it to be vertical. But apparently, like, that changes where you go in the algorithm. I just want to see what happens. It's going to be weird. I have zero expectations besides the fact that it's going to be weird and I'm going to screw it up. That's what's going to happen. Whitney Webb is not going to interview him. What is she going to say? I mean, I'm not laughing at the prospect of it, but it's just like, you know what? You're probably right. She probably will, since she didn't mention Scientology once in her book. Imagine that. They'll probably be best friends. You're right. Let me see. Do you have death info on Glassman? What do you mean? As far as cause of death or date? Because I think that I only found the date. And I thought that it was weird when he died. Because I think he was pretty young. It wasn't Jimmy. It was the stand-in. Oh, okay. And oh, girl, TikTok is nowhere to me. TikTok, I find fun music, but that's it. You know, Dore pushes voting in politics hard, and I say that guarantees he will not be banned. Yeah, that's true. Hello, AZ. Damn, I'm way late. No worries. I am a Queeno reincarnated. I only came back as him because his eyebrows were on fleek. She's a mother. How dare you? Y'all need to stop messing with me. Vertical brings out all kinds of craziness. I know, but I just want to try it. That's all I want to do. You know, the blockchain, that's the technocracy, and Peter Thiel, and it's like, okay, girl, I feels you. Okay, but can we talk about Scientology, Whitney? You talked about the Moonies. Why didn't you talk about Scientology? Why didn't you ever ask RFK about the church, huh? Is it because unlimited hangout isn't as unlimited as one might think? Anyways, Kurt Metzger keeps talking about Satanists too. I think that individual shared one of my community posts on Twitter, and that was very strange. I think that's the same guy. Okay, all right. I'm going to read a couple more. I'm not trying to let this devolve. Everybody, just so you're aware, the research is over because I've got some BS that I have to address before, I sign off. But whatever, I'm having fun. Okay, so this is off topic, but it was really bizarre, and I don't know where else to bring it up. A fringe creator did a little video about the Trump Elon airplane pick. His editing program outlines. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I don't like TikTok. I think it's weird, and I'm most certain that I'm going to get a lot of trolls. Dana, what do you think about Trump's new AG's relationship to Scientology? And the woman who was RFK Jr.'s VP pick interviewed him, I believe. Well, I've been warning people, especially on Twitter, for over a year that Scientology was doing a little takeover. And nobody wants to believe me. Nobody wanted to listen. Maybe my argument about secret Scientologists isn't so crazy. How about that? Yeah, it is what it is. Same thing with Alex Jones, right? Same thing with Alex Jones, RFK Jr. Like, Robert Maxwell was a Scientologist. Why don't people talk about that? Why didn't Whitney Webb talk about that? Anyways, let me see. Hello, the real John Doe outlines each individual entity in the picture when you click on it. So he did a demonstration. He clicked on the Big Mac. It had an outline. He clicked on the salt shaker. It had its own outline, etc. Well, that's weird. I don't know. Elon's weird. They're all weird. I don't know what to tell people. Put some cash in the Dana was right tip jar. Nicole Shanahan is who interviewed Tom O'Neill. I will check it out because I want to know what Tom is out there saying, especially if Tom is out there moving the timeline with the process, right? Because then I also want to know where our friend Paul Hart Berger is, who has seemed to go oh so silent, right? I'm so curious because I also know that I know that Tom O'Neill and Josh Zeman have been in communication. I've seen the emails. Next time I'm going to show them unredacted. Take that to the bank. And Hello Street Assassin and Tony Potenza. Let's talk about the technocracy. Yeah, Scientology and the technocracy and Bitcoin. Yeah. Until he clicked on Elon. Elon had his own outline, yes, except for numerous dots surrounding Trump's neck and face. Thoughts. Bo Beats, I have no thoughts about that. That's a lot. I think that Elon's weird, and you know, I don't get why people think that, he has anyone's best interest at heart. He killed the monkeys. Don't forget, with the brain chips, with the Neuralink, he killed the monkeys. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Whitney Webb is sus, and that's unfortunate. I bought both her books and her entire shtick. Yeah, well, so did I. I used to be like a total Whitney Webb fangirl. I would be like, yes, queen. Go out there and tell them. Let them know. And now I'm just like, you limited hangout hoe. Come on. Get it together. That's your favorite voice. I don't like sounding like Whitney Webb because that's what she sounds like, even though she's super smart and she has a computer brain. It's just all about Bitcoin and the technocracy and Peter Thiel, but no Scientology. You know what I mean? Q is linked to Scientology for sure. Snow White 7 IAM was the main account pushing their stuff, and Scientology infiltrate government operation. Well, I know what Snow White is. I have very strong opinions about Snow White and its purposes. I don't trust Bitcoin. Look at me. I don't trust no Bitcoin. I can't tell people what to do. I am not here to give financial advice. Okay? I am a simple hillbilly in the woods. Don't take financial advice from people with face tattoos. Everybody just make that a baseline rule for themselves. I will apply it to myself as well, which means I'm not going to take advice from myself. Apparently, Matt Gaetz grew up in the house Truman lived in on The Truman Show. It wasn't on a set. They filmed in the actual house. Well, that's real weird, ain't it? That's real weird. And Elon is absolutely a Trojan horse. Date and where? Hold on. I want to address this for Seashore Mary, and then I'm going to get to the thing that I need to address because I'm over the nonsense. Let me see if I have it, Mary, and if not, I will absolutely bring it up next time because I don't know if I remember which one I saved it in. Damn it. Mary, I'll find it because I'm pretty sure I have the date and the obituary is extremely vague. It's extremely vague, but I will let you know. So I apologize. Oh, the I Am cult. Okay. Is that the cicada, whatever? The 3301, the weird Q folks? Is that what you're talking about? Because I don't like those people. They were not nice to me. They're not nice people. None of them. What does QAnon care about the process in Scientology, right? That's kind of weird. Unless this stupid hillbilly conspiracy theorist has been right the entire time, right? I don't huff enough gold spray paint for this chat some days. Well, neither do I. Whatever. I'm not even going to say it. Okay, so let's get down to business, right? And does the cicada people? Yeah, I don't like the cicada people. They suck. They're not nice. But in regards to whatever, like the stupid Reddit stuff, I don't really care. I'm going to address something that I have addressed on my Twitter. If you want to see screenshots, you can look on my Twitter. Okay? You can look on my Twitter. There was an accusation that was made against both, I guess I should say me and Parker, because it was the video that we did. But, saying that things were said about the author of the Son of Sam Files blog that were not said. It was not said. Okay. You can see in the transcript there, I did not name a Facebook group. I'm not on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in years. So why would I talk about Facebook? It doesn't really make sense to me. And that, there was accusations that were made that the author of the blog was kicked out of this group because of their criticism of Paul Agostino Neo, yes, the one, his book, right? And obviously, we've already gone over all of the garbage with Neo, and Neo and his friends can continue to argue with themselves in comments. That's fine. However, the things that were said by, Leash, because this was all going on behind the scenes, and I don't know who all she told this. I know one person that she told. I'm not anticipating that, accountability is going to be taken here. But again, feel free to go look at my Twitter because the screenshots are there and I really don't feel like pulling it up because I'm really tired of people's bullshit. Excuse my language. But she's aware that that was not said. Okay. They were trying to get me drug into this whole thing with Nate, the author of the Son of Sam Files blog. And quite frankly, I wasn't responding. I wasn't responding to the messages. And I kept getting dissertations about what was going on. And then it turned into, it was me. It was me that said something, even though I didn't say it. A lot of confidence that I said it. And as soon as I asked for a timestamp, well, then things got a little uncomfortable, right? And I know that there's just constant bullshit with the Son of Sam community, but I'm not going to be lied on. Okay. And the people that want to tiptoe both sides, I'm not telling anybody to pick a side. I don't see it as sides. I'm here for the truth. If someone gets shady or weird with me, that's it. I'm going to address it, and either it's going to get resolved or it's not. But I'm not going to have people running around lying on me and then pulling the guilt trip card with things going on in their life or their health. Because guess what? I have health problems too. It's not an excuse to lie on people. Okay? That's not how life works. That's not being accountable. And I would love for people to take into consideration the factual lies that I have shown from individuals in the Son of Sam community. I'm not even talking about Zeman, Grossman. I'm talking about Eric Galati. I'm talking about freaking Neo. I'm talking about Raina deleting comments. I'm talking about all of these other individuals that nothing has been addressed. And these people just get to sit here and continue on, and that's fine. Because guess what? If people continue to operate as though that type of behavior is acceptable, well, that just shows me that you're not really there for the truth. You're there for the popular party. Okay? And again, I'm not telling people to pick sides. I don't see it that way. You watch what you want to watch. You're friends with who you want to be friends with. I am not the police of your social life, but I'm not going to be lied on. Fuck that. I don't deserve it. And, for some people in the Son of Sam community, they don't understand that, it's not just, the Grossmans of the world or, this nonsense or whatever. There's also the shit with Zero Dark Tony, right? But they think that their feelings are the top priority and that that's the number one thing that I have to focus on. And they want to sit there and write me a fucking book in my DMs and then start making accusations against me when I do not respond. Yeah, fuck all that. Because it's the exact same thing on Reddit. Seriously. And I'm tired of it. They want to sit there and act like they're out here, exposing ZDT and say that I'm exactly the same as ZDT. Fuck y'all. ZDT made physical threats of my home today and my person today. So again, for the people sitting behind keyboards, who want to act innocent or play victim, whether it's the Son of Sam community or the anti-ZDT community, go ahead and start, putting something on the fucking line before you step to me. Because ain't nobody, nobody, none of y'all can step to me. Okay? I'm more so being particular with the ZDT folks because they like to run their mouth. And I'm sure that I'll get a whole bunch of trolls when I do the little vertical thing, right? That's going to be just a complete nightmare. But check your own shit. Okay? Clean up your own house before y'all come at me. I have enough going on. I try not to burden other people with it or make it other people's problem. Am I transparent? Yes, absolutely. That doesn't mean I'm trying to burden anybody. I'm just putting it out there. That's all, right? But I have my own things going on. I try to keep a level head about everything, and people don't have to like me, and you sure as shit don't have to be here. I don't ask anybody for anything. And I'm not going to start. Okay? I'm not going to start. But I'm not going to take it from the Son of Sam community, and I'm sure as hell not going to take it from the anti-ZDT community. Because, man, what a great distraction I am from the topic, right? What a joke. What a joke. But, let people think that they're doing the most. That's fine. I wanted to address that because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Leisha's behavior was total trash. And, it was not an apology that I received. It was, just kind of a backhanded, well, fine. I guess she didn't say it. No, I didn't say it. And I would love to see the other people held accountable in the Son of Sam community and their lies. And the people that think that they can gatekeep David Berkowitz from others. Yeah. Because guess what? Nobody owns the research and nobody owns access to any of these people. I'm not David's friend. But no one owns anything. And I don't think that you could call yourself his friend if you act like judge, jury, executioner, and gatekeeper of his communication. And that everything has to go through you. I didn't really anticipate bringing that up. But you know who you are. And I don't care who vouches for you. And I don't care how smart you think you are. I would say, in my personal opinion, that you are a terrible friend to someone in a very uncomfortable situation, and nothing has been accomplished in regards to the current situation with David Berkowitz and a large propaganda machine. Things that we have discussed previously, and quite frankly, with friends like you, who needs fucking enemies? Seriously. See you guys later.